Welcome to the Bone Zone. Never called that this before. I hope you enjoyed that beginning. I'll talk about that in a sec. But first, today's video is sponsored by Storyblocks. And it's my first time having a video sponsored by them. I've seen them all over the internet on my boy Daniel Schiffer's channel. He talks about them. And this was my first chance to get to experience the library of Storyblocks. And it was pretty amazing. They have over 1 million royalty-free stock assets. And for me as a filmmaker, I've always wanted to have a really cool title sequence to one of my films. The issue is I'm not great at After Effects and they take time. One of my favorite TV shows is True Detective. And the first season of that especially, it was an amazing season. Although it was very dark and demonic, it was incredible storytelling. And so I've always wanted to have a really cool title sequence to one of my films, just like they did for theirs. But like I said, I just don't know where to start or don't have the money to hire someone to build that. But what was really cool on Storyblocks is I found that they had tons and tons of After Effects templates for title sequences. And I was able to build this in just a matter of hours. It didn't take me days. I didn't have to know much about After Effects. I could just drag and drop the assets right into it. And right away, I have a professional looking title sequence. So make sure to check them out. I have a link down below. They have unlimited downloads, really affordable subscriptions. It's a great way for you, whether you're just getting into filmography or photography, or if you have a business, or if you're just genuinely wanting to make narrative documentary films like me. There's incredible assets on Storyblocks that you can use. But today's video is not really gonna be talking much about gear. I feel like on YouTube, I just come across as a filmmaker, but for me, there's way more to life than making films. This is just one part of it. I didn't just wind up here in front of a YouTube camera. It's been a crazy journey that's tough sometimes. And so today's video, I wanna talk about what are you saying no to? Someone once told me your yes, what you're saying yes to in life is only as strong as your no. If you're just saying yes to everything that you can do, if you want to do this job or hang out with this friend or go do this or start this workout or do this diet or watch this series, then all of those yeses are going to be very thin and they're not going to be strong because you're spreading yourself too thin and you're being too distracted. And I've realized this for myself. YouTube is a new transition. I came out of filmmaking and directing and I've gone into this world and now I'm trying to make the two things collide. But I've realized I've been saying yes to a lot of things. And in turn, the things I'm most passionate about, my relationships in my life, the films I'm making, they're suffering because I haven't been saying no. So how do you get to a stronger yes in your life? The first thing I've had to do is write down who I believe I am as a creative, as a filmmaker. Someone once recently said to me, you won't know where you're going unless you know where you are. And so I got out my journal. This happens every few years. I do a check-in, and I'm starting to do it at the beginning of every year because a lot changes over a year. Just like this last year, a few things have changed. But what I do is I sit down, I get my journal out, and I write down in one sentence, and I only can say and once because I don't want to go on in a run-on sentence. I write down in one sentence who I am or what I'm trying to accomplish. So in the case of this year, I'm a documentary filmmaker telling cinematic stories about unknown individuals facing existential challenges in their lives. Now, that might just sound like a bunch of theoretical mumbo jumbo, but it's actually been really helpful for me having that. For one, telling myself I'm a documentary filmmaker, reminding myself that I'm not just a film worker. I'm not just working for the next gig, that I desire to be a filmmaker. So I have to ask myself every once in a while, am I making films? And if I'm saying yes to something, whether it's saying yes to another commercial job or just saying yes to creating more YouTube videos, I have to stop and ask myself, am I doing documentary filmmaking? And then every word in this actually matters to me. I'm a documentary filmmaker making cinematic stories. Creating beauty is really important for me. If you've seen my films, the cinematography is a very important part of them and is integral to the story. But then here's what really matters. I started off doing humanitarian work. That's how I got into filmmaking. So I've always wanted to meld that passion into my filmmaking. So for me, I want to talk about unknown individuals, people we've never seen before. What I mean by that is unsung heroes. For me, I've been so inspired by the people we don't know about, people who aren't in the limelight, who don't have millions of Instagram followers. followers. They're the ones I want to tell the stories about because they hold virtues in their life that aren't about being famous, but about accomplishing what's close to their heart. And I'm interested in that. And that's been really crucial because then I can say no to more. If I don't know what I'm trying to accomplish, then when the next client comes along or the next person who says, hey, do you want to go away for a few months and do this? If it doesn't align with the passion, with the goal I'm trying to do, it can help me determine if I want to say yes or no to this. Now, it doesn't mean to say no to going on vacation. These things are important, but you need to know who you are before you can decide where you're going. And this might be overwhelming. Maybe you're just starting in your career. It's okay, write anything down that you feel you're passionate or aligns with you. Because if your passions align with your schedule, you will be fulfilled in your work. Here we go. I'm getting a phone call right now, and this is funny, but I'm gonna say no to it because right now I'm saying yes to this video, and I'll get to that call in a minute. But anyways, one way to get to this answer of where you're going is to do a stop, start, and continue list. And what that is you're gonna say what you wanna start doing that year or over that block of time, what you're gonna stop doing, which is inhibiting you from doing that, and what you wanna continue to do, the habits or the tasks you're doing that are helping you achieve that goal. So for me this year, it was really simple. To help create these films, I looked at my life and I said, what do I wanna start doing? I want to start taking more time away from my computer, where I'm either reading more books or spending more time with friends and family, or just being away from that battle station so that when I come there, I'm ready to work. Because I find if I'm always sitting at my desk, if I'm always at my computer, there's this idea, it's a fake idea, that I always have more time to work because I'm always going to be there. But when I start fragmenting my day down so that there's only 4 to 6 hours that I can sit at my computer, I will work very hard in those 4 to 6 hours, and I'll probably accomplish as much as I would in 10 to 12 hours when I know there's a limited amount of time. Now, there's always exceptions to this, and I find sometimes I edit better late at night, so I'll do that, but this is where the stop, start, continue list helps. The next thing, what do I want to stop doing this year? So that's what I'm going to start doing, which is taking more time away from the computer. The one thing I would like to stop doing is I would like to stop saying yes to mediocre commercial work. I've always done commercials. It's been the way I've paid for my bills since I quit weddings. And it's been an incredible way for me to cut my teeth as a director. I've gotten to work with some really amazing people and create some really cool commercials for some amazing brands, from Nike to Mercedes. All these things have been very fun. But if I'm only doing those, or if I'm only saying yes to commercials, I'm not making the films I'm most passionate about. So I'm gonna stop taking on as much commercial work this year as I normally would. And what's great about that is I get to start being choosy. I'll only take on jobs that I'm really passionate about. There was a commercial that came up, it was for a beer company right before Christmas, and it was gonna be running around the city. I just looked at it and just decided to say no. I mean, the money would have been great, but again, I'm not making the documentaries I want to make. Now, there is a practical sense. I'm not encouraging people just to go broke, physically broke with money. You do have to say yes to a certain amount of work in order for you to pay for your bills, provide for your family. But if that's all you're focusing on, you will never get to work on the things you're most passionate about. And sometimes having a little less money in your bank account is actually more fulfilling if you're doing the work you're passionate about. And so the last thing, the continue section. What are you gonna continue to do? Well, for me, I wanna continue to focus on the passion projects that I have moving forward right now. So there's one job in particular, it's called Untitled. You've seen me talking about it a lot. It's been taking way too long to finish this film. But again, that's because I'm working on too many other things. But I wanna continue to focus on that film and get it finished. I hope to be able to release it this February. I've shot some new scenes in it. I made the tough decision to add myself in for a second. We'll see if that lasts through the edit. But I've had this amazing chance to work with a first-time director, Kwesi Thomas, on it, and I've just loved doing that film. And I realized, well, why would I stop doing that? I want to continue to finishing that film and continue to do more passion projects because, well, heck, they are so fulfilling. So that's the summary of today, is just what are you saying no to this year? You just stop thinking about what you're saying yes to, because you're probably thinking, well, yes, I want to get more fit this year, or yes, I want to make more money this year, or yes, I want to buy a new camera. But to get to those things, what are you saying no to? Because you'll never be able to accomplish these. You'll never be able to get to that yes if you're only saying yes to everything. So think for yourself right now. If you're wanting to become the wedding photographer? What are you saying no to? Maybe it's just saying no to another Netflix series and saying yes to going out and shooting some photos for some people for free. Because there you go, you're gonna start building your portfolio. So you gotta look at what's inhibiting you. Because again, if your schedule and your passions align, this is where you can start to feel fulfilled in your work. Doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna be fulfilled in life. That's a whole other question that we can get into this year if you want, because there is way more to life than the work you're doing. But I find for me, if my passions aren't aligning with the work I'm doing, if I'm not passionate about what I'm creating, which is why I come back to that phrase, I'm a documentary filmmaker creating cinematic stories about individuals, unknown individuals. That's a key word. People we don't know about. I don't want to tell stories about famous people. I want to go find the unsung heroes in this world. So those are the people I want to tell stories about. And that's what I want to pursue. And when I'm telling those stories, it's just way better. I feel more free as a creator. So drop a like if you guys like this video. Leave a comment. Let me know if this is the kind of content you guys want me to cover more. Happy to do that. I always want to bring you behind the scenes too, scenes of the films I'm shooting. And I will be talking about some gear. Of course, gear helps you accomplish that. There is some new products. There's some great filters coming out soon with some companies I'm going to be talking about. But there you go, guys. I'll see you on the next one.